Hello, welcome everyone to a new amazing video in which we'll be building a chatbot app using Gemini AI. And this is the new AI model from Google that was released in December, so almost a month ago. So let's first have a look on the app. So this is the app. We can send a prompt or an image. So you just, for example, say hi, wait a little bit, and here is the response. You can send an image. So let's select this image, for example, and say, what is the background color of this image, and send that. The background color is yellow, so we can use this chat app with prompts and images, and you will learn, of course, how you can use this API, get an API key, select images, send them, and get response from this AI. So first of all, what is Gemini? Gemini is an AI model that is just like GPT, and we have three different versions of this. So if we scroll down, we have the Ultra version, which is the largest one, and it's used for servers and stuff like that. And we have the Pro version, which is what we are going to use in our app. And the Pro version is the public available one, so this one is accessible by everyone to use it. And the Nano one, which is the smallest one, and this one is used in devices, in Google Pixel devices basically. So you can use the AI in offline mode because this one will be built in on the Google Pixel, so you don't need internet connection, unlike these ones in which you need actually internet connection for this app to work. So yes, we'll use this AI model to power our chat app. So first of all, what we need here is an API key. So if we come right here to this, I will link this one, makeasuit.google.com. We can get an API key in the Google AI Studio. You can just come right here. You can of course create prompts here. If we go to chat prompts, and you can send a prompt and get a response from the model, as you can see. And to get an API key, to use our own one, and to create an API key, just click on this button and you will create it. For me, I can't because I already have one, but for you, you can actually create it since if you don't have already one. And the limit here is, I guess, 15 requests in a second. I guess after 15 requests in a second you need to pay or something, but maybe in our app we won't need that. But yeah, this is how you can create an API key and you can get it. Now the first thing we need is to come right here to get the dependencies we need. So from this Google AI for developers documentation, the Gemini API section, I will link this as well in the description. We need some stuff here. The first thing we need is this dependency in our Gradle file. So we go to the app Gradle file and just create space and paste that dependency. And we need more dependencies. Actually, we need more libraries. Here are the other libraries we need here. We need this view model compose to create a view model in compose context, and the quell for loading images because we do use images in our app. We need this one just to get more icons to use in the app. And that's all we need actually in our Gradle, build.gradle file. Just click sync. I will of course link the project in the description. It will be on GitHub, so you can copy these dependencies from there. And actually, yes, that's all we need for Gradle. Now what we need to do is to create a little data package here for just managing data stuff. So data, I'm not going to use any design pattern like MVVM or something because I just want to demonstrate to you how to use this API in a functioning app. If you want to scale up the app, then you can use a design pattern in the building, but I'm not going to do that. So the first thing is I'm going to create a data class, which is just the chat. I'm going to call it chat, and this will be a data class, not a class. In this data class, I will need three fields. So the first one is the prompt, that is of type string, and then the bitmap, which is the image we'll send to the AI. So bitmap of type bitmap, and this will be nullable because of course we can send messages without, or prompts without an image. And then who actually sent this message, so is from user, that's a boolean. So to just know if this chat item is from us or from the AI, that's why we need this field here. Next thing is we want to create the chat data object. That's what I actually did to just handle those calls, those API calls. So chat data, and that is going to be an object for me. The first thing I will have in here is my API key. So val API key. Of course, you actually possibly need to put this API key in Gradle.properties to have it just as a config field. Maybe this is not the safest way to use it, but this doesn't matter for the video, honestly. So we'll go back here to get our API key, copy that, and paste it right here. After that, we need to create two functions. So I will actually start with the data part, which is making those calls to the API, sending prompts and getting them, and then I will create the UI in the view model. And since in the app we can send two types of prompts, a prompt without an image and a prompt with an image. So like this one, it doesn't have an image, and we can send another one with an image. So let's say, what is this? And send that. So we can send two types of prompts, this one with no image and this one with an image. Here we got the response. Anyway, I will create two functions, one for just a normal prompt and one for a prompt with an image. So these will be suspend functions, get response, and this will take a user prompt. That's what it will take. So user prompt, or just a prompt for simplicity. That is of type string, of course, and this will return a chat object for me. And actually, Google did everything for us, so we don't need retrofit or any library to make those calls. Everything is already done by Google, so we can just create a generative model that we want to connect to. So generative model, this one, that is a generative model. Now we need to specify the type of the model or the name of the model. So name or model name. We have two types. The first one is in which we don't want to send images. So Gemini Pro. As I told you, we will use the Pro version. So if we go down here, we'll use this one, as it is the public available one. So with this one, you can't send images. And then we need to define our API key. So API key is equal to my API key. So here we have the generative model. And then inside, let me just create space down here. Inside a try catch block, since we can run into crashes, and the problem or the crash that can happen is a response stopped exception. So maybe the model thinks this prompt violates their privacy policy or something, then they will actually throw an exception that it's stopped, and so we need to handle that if that happens. So the first thing we want to create is a val response. That is, we need to run that inside a context coroutine, I mean dispatcher, which is the dispatchers.io, since this is an IO operation, and we'll use our generative model dot generate content, and we will send our prompt. So with no image, so we'll only provide our prompt, and then we'll return a chat object, as I said. And so what was that? I don't remember. Prompt, bitmap, and user. So for the prompt, it is my response dot text, and that is nullable. So we don't want a null response, then we just say error in case that is null. The next thing is the bitmap. Since we don't want it, we'll just set it to be null, and the is from user will be set to false, since this one is actually from the AI model. Now in case a problem happens, then I can just say e.message, this one, and since that is also nullable, so I'm just going to have an error like this. And actually this is for the first one. We just copy this one, and now in case we have a bitmap or an image, in this case this function will also take a bitmap like this, and we'll use a different model, which is Gemini Pro vision, like this. This one actually can take images or bitmaps, yes, images or whatever. In the content or generate content, we need to send, or actually we need to create an input content first. So var input content, or just you can call it content, it's the same. That is a content, and the first thing we need is an image, bitmap, and text, which is our prompts. Of course, we can send multiple images if we have to, and in this case we'll only send one image, and then we'll use our input content to generate our content like this. And actually, yes, this is it for the second one. Of course, we don't get any images from the model, or I don't know if we can. I did not actually search for that, but we only need this bitmap from the chats or messages that are sent from the user, not from the model. So this is it for the data part. Now, like this, we can actually get those response from the model, as easy as this. Now, we're going to create the UI. So in our root package, I'm just going to create first my state. So I'm just going to call it chat state, and that is a data class. We have a few things here. The first thing is the chat list. So the list of messages we have, so chat list, that is a mutable list of type chat. This one. And by default, it is just an empty one, so mutable list. I need to say val right here. And the next thing we need is the prompt from the user. So let's say val prompt, and that is a string, which is an empty string by default, and then the image, bitmap, and since we may not have an image, we'll set it to null, and it will be nullable. Like that for the state. The next thing is the events the user can make. That's a sealed class, and let's just say chat UI event, and this one will actually have the first one data class, which is update, say prompt, and val, that will take a val. Let's say first of all, this one is to start with a capital letter, val new prompt, for example, and that is of type string. This inherits from chat UI event, and then the second thing we need is send a prompt like that, and this will take just, I'm now going to call it prompt like that. That's actually all we need. And also the bitmap. So val bitmap, that is an nullable. We will actually see why we have these right here, and also we have them in the chat state, since you can say you can just use these, but to just fix a little problem, I actually send them with the event. So this is for the event class. Now let's move on to the view model. Now we'll create a view model. So I'm going to call it chat view model like that. This of course sends view model from lifecycle. And the first thing is we want to create our chat state flow. So private var chat state, that is a mutable state flow, and it is our chat state. That's the default value. Now we create the public one, so chat state, and it is underscore chat state dot as state flow. Please, if you don't understand what I'm doing here, if you don't know why I'm creating two versions and what state flow is, I actually created a playlist explaining flows in details. If you don't know what I'm doing, you can go and watch that playlist so you can actually understand what this is. So yes, now we have our flows, our chat state flows. Now we create a function for the events. And of course, anything that I'm creating here, like this event class, this even this chat state, this view model, I explained everything in my channel. If you don't understand anything on what these events are or anything, you can just go back to my channel and you find videos me explaining these things. So my event, first of all, we need to have a block, a win block, to just see what kind of events we got from the user, and add remaining branches. Now we have two types of events: sending prompt and updating a prompt. Updating a prompt is just changing the text. Basically, that's all it is. And in that case, since it is the easiest one, we'll say our chat state dot update it dot copy, and the prompt is my event dot new prompt. This is it for the first one. Now in right here, I have few things to actually do here when I want to send a prompt. The first thing is I don't want to have an empty prompt, so I'm going to check that out. So if chat state dot value dot prompt dot is not empty, I can just use actually the event one because I already sent it with the event. So if event dot prompt dot is not empty, so that's an important thing. We want now to add this message to our list. So I'm just going to create a function for that is called private fun. Let's say add message. I'm just going to call it add prompt to stay consistent with the names. Add prompt, and that will take actually a few things. First of all, the prompt itself. So prompt type string, and the bitmap that is nullable since it might not be available. And now I'll update my chat state dot update it dot copy. And again, if you don't know what update is, you can watch that in my flows playlist and see what that is and why we use that. So it dot copy, we want to update our chat list to say it dot chat list dot to mutable list dot apply, like that. And now we want to add a new chat, so add in 0. We'll see why we need to add it in 0 when we create the UI. Chat, so create a new chat. Let's import that, and the prompt is prompt, bitmap is bitmap, and that is nullable, is from user now is true. So as we saw here in the data package here, these were not sent from the user, so we set that to false. Now since they are from the user, it's true. And after that, we want to now update our prompt that we have in the state to just be an empty string, and the bitmap to be null if it was not null. And of course, the ones I'm updating are in my chat state data class. And as I said, I will be using the ones from the event to send them to the model. And the reason why is I want once the user clicks on the send button, so let's actually see that in the app. So if we say good like this, once I click on the send button, let's say I should empty the text field. That's why I update them to be empty string and the image or the bitmap to be null, but I still have them in the event so I can use them. Because if I update them here, then I just lost them. I don't have them anymore to send them to the model. That's why I sent them from the event. And of course, if we don't want to send them from the event, we can just create two variables in here, two temporary variables, and have them right there. But it's the same thing. This is cleaner, I guess. After that, we want to call that function. So add prompt, we send my event.prompt and event.bitmap. And now we want to send them to the model. So first of all, we need to know what type of prompt we have. Is it with an image or with no image? So we need to check that. If, and sorry, this will be of course executed inside here, in which the prompt is not empty. So we'll say if event.bitmap is not null. We can use a let block, but this is more readable. Here we want to send a prompt with a bitmap, else a prompt with no bitmap. Actually, let's now create those functions that send those, that connect to the data object that I already created here. The first one is get. I'm putting them in different functions. We can of course put them in one function and just check that, but this is, I guess, more readable. So private fun, to just have that separation of concerns principle. So get response, and this will take a prompt. So this is a normal response with no image, in which we need to have a view model scope dot launch, since the function that we will call is a suspend function, and we get that. So val chat is my chat data dot get response and send my prompt. And that's actually it. Now all I need is to update my state dot update it dot copy. I want to update my chat list, of course, just like this I've created right here. That's going to be the same thing. And of course, the bitmap is going to be, the chat itself is going to be the chat I created right here. And the second one for if we have a bitmap. So let's say get response with image, for example, or with bitmap, whatever. And this will take a bitmap as well. And that is not supposed to be null. And I will say get response, this one, but it's actually the same, but now I will need to send my bitmap like that. And that's it. I update my state again. And actually I just need now to call these. So get response, send in my event.prompt, and get response with image event.prompt, and just four more, and also the event.bitmap. As I said, just for more readability, maybe I should put these in, this one as the first one and this one as the second one. Here in my chat data, I rather call this one get response with image, to have different names like that. This is it for our view model. And now we'll move on to create the UI in our main activity. The first thing is we want to create the visual media picker, since we want to actually pick media. That's why I'm going to create that. And it's just a private var. I'm just going to call it image picker. I'm gonna explain this in my channel. If you don't know what I'm doing, this is a way to pick images from user's device in Android 13 and above, which is a register for activity result. And it is a pick visual media request URE, which is what we want to get. We pass an activity result contracts dot pick visual media like this. Now right here we get our URE, or the image URE, URE dot let, and they will put a little question mark here. So we have a non-null URE, and I want to create a state for that just right here, since we actually keep the image in a bitmap in our chat state in our view model, so we won't lose it during configuration changes. This state is just temporary, so let's say private var URE state, that is a mutable state flow, by default an empty string, and then my URE state dot update, passing my URE dot toString. Now here I have my URE in this one, and I can pick the image with this image picker. Now the first thing we need here is a scaffold, since if we go to the app, we have this little top bar, so we need a scaffold for that. Like this, we need a top bar that is just going to be a box modifier. It will need a modifier and a few things. Fill max width, not max size, so fill max width dot, let me just format this dot. Background is going to be material theme dot color scheme dot primary, and then the height, let's say 55.dp, import dp, and the padding, just going to have a horizontal padding of 16.dp. Now inside my box I will have a text, so text, and the text is just going to be Gemini, or upname, maybe that's better, so string resource r dot string dot upname. And then I want to have few more things, like the font size to be in 19.sp, and the color to be material theme dot color scheme dot on primary, since the background is primary. And the last thing for this text is a modifier to just center it, so modifier dot align center start, this one. And after that, we want to create our screen right here. So a composable font, I'm going to call it chat screen. It will take padding that we get from the scaffold, so padding values, and I will call that right here chat screen, passing my padding value or it, like that. The error will be gone, but we need to add a little, what is that, a little annotation, experiment annotation, like that. Now I first need to create the view model instance and the chat state. So var chat view model, that is view model of type chat view model. Alt enter to import a view model, and then create my chat instance. So var chat state, that is my chat view model dot chat state dot collect as state dot value. Here I have my chat state here, and I will directly get to create my UI. So let's first see what we need. We need a column, of course, in which we have this section here in which we have our chats, and this row. Basically, this section is a lazy column, and a row in which we have these little two icons and this text field. So let's create the column. That first needs some modifier to fill actually the max size. So modifier fill max size, that's important. And then we want to have padding to be my just from the top. So because we created this top bar, what is it, this one, and we gave it a height of 55 dp, and we have that 55 dp that we need to push my lazy comment down, or my comment down by 55 dp. I have it inside this padding values. So from the top we want padding, which is padding values dot calculate top padding, like that. So if you don't know why we need this padding values that we get from the scaffold, in case we have a top bar or a bottom bar and those take space, we want to push now the content here from the top or the bottom using this padding value. That's actually why we need that. The next thing is I just want to center my stuff inside the comments, so vertical alignment to be, not centering, but actually putting them to the bottom, because everything will be in the bottom. Even let's just restart the app to see how that works. As you can see, now my row is in the bottom, the lazy comment is right above the row at the bottom. Once I send a message, as you can see, it's also at the bottom, it's not up. And the app crashed because we need to add a new exception, as it just had a lock on the reason why it crashed. So let's just go back here. We seem to need to add a new type of exception, and maybe, I don't know if I can just use a general exception like this to actually solve the problem, because the app crashed due to a blocked one. So this is the exception I actually got. This one, it's prompt blocked exception. Since the prompt is just a little bit, doesn't mean anything because it was just a letter or a character. That's why it was blocked. And you can have a better exception handling. I'm just right now going to use a normal exception like this. You can definitely have a better exception handling, and I'm not going to do that because that will be too much for the video. As I said, I want to push everything to the bottom. So let's say arrangement.bottom, like that. After that, I want to create now my lazy comment. So that's a lazy comment. I want to have content. Instead, I want a modifier right here. It is modifier dot first weight to have 1f the weight, so it actually occupies all the space, but the space the row already has. And then fill, not like that, max width, then padding, horizontal padding of 8.dp, like that. And we'll use a reverse layout to set that to true. And when I said in the view model that I put or I add my items in 0 index, so they will always be in the first index. And since they are in the first index, they will be shown. So let's just go back to the app. If I send a message like this, now this one in the first index, so that's normal. The prompt from the model is in the first index, so it's normally should be above here. And since I'm using a reverse layout, it's reversed, so it's now below that, even if it's actually in 0 index. So that's why I put those in 0 index, and I use a reverse layout. And then I used my item index or items index function, in which I pass my list, so chat state.chat list. I get a few things here, which are the index and the item. And since the item is a chat, I'm just going to call it chat like that. And then we want to create an item, and that is different. We have two different types of items, the one from the user and the one from the chat or the model, I'm sorry. So let's have a look at that. This one will be green, and it's possibly going to have an image here, and this one is just a little bit like blue like this. So let's first create those, and it starts with the one from the user. So that's a composable fun user chat message or chat item, and that takes a prompt again of type string and a bitmap that is nullable. That will be a comment. Why a comment? So let me just send a little bit of something. What is this? I'm going to actually type something so it doesn't get blocked again. A comment, since we have an image and below it a prompt, that's why we need a comment. And that comment will take a modifier. So modifier dot padding. We want padding from the start, so start to be 100.dp. So just this space is 100 dp, so we push it 100 dps from the start. And then the bottom, this little padding here from the bottom, so bottom, I'm going to give it 22.dp. So this is it now for the modifier. The next thing is we want to create an image, and first of all we need to make sure that our bitmap is not null. So bitmap.let, we get now a non-null bitmap, and we need to create an image that needs a modifier. At first I think I need to import image. We need to fill the max width, and we need to give it a height of 260 dp. We need some padding of just 2 dp, so padding just between the prompt and the image. We can just have that padding probably from the bottom. That's why we need the padding. And clip that image and give it a rounded corner shape. Let's say 12.dp to have those rounded corners. And then we need a few more things, which are the content description, and that is going to be just image, I guess. And then the content scale is going to be content scale.crop, so it's like center crop from XML. And then the image itself, which is bitmap, is it.as image bitmap, which is the non-null bitmap that I get. After that, we need to create a text that displays the prompt itself. Before the text itself, we need a modifier here. So let's just say modifier is modifier. We need a lot of modifiers. Fill max width again. We need again to clip that and give it a rounded corner shape, 12.dp. We need a background right now, so material theme.color scheme. I'm going to use primary for the prompt from the user, and then we need padding to be 16.dp. After that, the text is going to be my prompt. The font size is going to be 17.sp, and the color is going to be material theme.color scheme.on primary, like that. This is it now for this item. What we need to do is just check what that error is and delete that. We go down here and we copy this one to create now the item from the model. So paste it like this. This one won't take any bitmap, and it will be called model chat item, and we don't need an image again. there are actually now a few differences, like we want to now push it from the end. So let's have a look. As you can see, we want now the padding to be from the end, and the color I'm going to use tertiary, this one, and on tertiary, like that. And this is it now for this one. Maybe this one is called response to just have a better name, response, not prompt, like that. Let's now go up here where we have our items, our lazy column items, and we want now to check the type of the chat we have. So if chat dot is from user, we want to call user chat item and pass my prompt, which is my chat state, or the chat that I already have here. I don't need to use the chat state dot prompt, sorry. And then the bitmap is going to be again chat dot bitmap. Else that is not from the user, I will call model chat item, and the response is going to be chat dot prompt. And maybe I can just have these in one line. Yeah, this is it now for the items. We have them. Now we want to actually send messages or prompts to the model. So let's go now inside our column right here. And we'll create this row that has an icon, a text field, and then another icon. So let's create that, a row. And that will take a modifier dot fill max width again, and we need padding. Just have some padding from the bottom, so padding from the bottom 22 dp. We can just have 16, maybe that's better. And then we need to center things vertically, so vertical alignment to be centered vertically. Now we need to create a column. Why a column? Because let's pick an image. As you can see, here is now the column. We have this little image that displays what image we picked, and then the icon of if we want to pick a different image. That's why we need that little column that needs an image. And since we already have an image in here, I'm just going to copy it from here, paste it, and now we don't have the bitmap, so we'll create that up right here. And the bitmap is going to be vol bitmap is equal to get bitmap, but I don't have that function yet, so I create it as well. Get bitmap to just get the bitmap from this image URE or this URE state that I have, and I'm going to create that function down here. Now we need to use Quail, which is the library we use to load images. That's going to be a composable function, private fun get bitmap, and it returns a bitmap, but actually a nullable bitmap, since it's possible that we might not have an image at all. So var, now the URE is going to be my URE state dot collect as state dot value. So we collect that, and then we create an image state variable, var image state, that is of type assign image painter dot state, that is, remember, assign image painter. The model, let's just go back to a new line, is going to be my an image request, I mean, dot builder. So we need to create an image request. We need context, so local context dot current, and we need to pass now the URE, which is the data, so URE, and the size is going to be size dot, size, yes, size dot original, and then dot build. And since we want to state, we'll use dot state here. So now we have our image in this image state. Of course, from that we can get the bitmap. And now we need to make sure that we successfully loaded the image. So if image state is assign image painter dot state dot success, so if we successfully have an image, then we want to return my image state dot result dot drawable dot Jawbo dot to bitmap. This is how I can get a bitmap, and then I return null otherwise. So if that is not a success, I return null. This is how I can get now my bitmap. And now let's actually name this one bitmap like this. Let's go up here to the column or to the row. The size of the image is going to be 40 dp and only 6 dp, and here I'm going to say picked image. Of course, now the bitmap is no longer null or something. I mean, the bitmap is available now, and I'm now going to create the icon of picking an image. So let's say icon, of course, inside the common, below now the image bitmap or the image itself. The image vector is going to be icons dot I'm going to use around the corners dot photo. That's all I'm going to use, or probably add photo if there is anything like that. Yes, add photo. And the content description is going to be add photo like that. I probably need a modifier right here, so let's use that modifier. So modifier dot, the size again is 40.dp, and this will be a clickable image. I mean, yes, a clickable icon, I mean, and we'll use our image picker dot launch. So now to pick an image with that image picker, we need a pick visual media request and dot builder dot set media type, which is going to be image only. So image, I don't think I can access it like this. Yes, I can. Image only dot build like this, and this is actually not like this. Yes, now I can pick an image with this image picker. I need a tint for the icon. So tint is going to be material theme dot color scheme dot primary, and I need a spacer now below, I mean after the column. So as you can see, between the column and the text field, there is where I need the spacer. So spacer width is going to be 8.dp. I then need to create a text field. So like this, text field. The value is going to be my chat state dot prompt, and on value change, now I'm going to use my chat UI event. So chat view model dot on event, and I'm going to say chat UI event dot now updating it. So I'm changing now my prompt. So update prompt, passing the new prompt, which is it, like that. And I'm going to create a placeholder or a hint, you can say. That is just going to be a text that says type a prompt, as easy as that. And maybe I need some annotation or something right here. Yes, to remove that, and then I need to create another icon, but I'm just going to copy it from here to send now the prompt. And I need another spacer between the text field and the other icon. In this case, the icon is going to be send, and here I'm going to say send prompt like that. And when I click on that, I will use my chat UI event again to send an event on event chat UI event dot now send in a prompt. In this case, I need to pass two things, which are my chat state dot prompt and my bitmap. And yes, this is it for the UI. So why am I sending this one right here, since I already have it in the chat state? Because as I said, once I try adding that to the list, I immediately set it to be as an empty string, and I will lose it if I don't send it from the event, or if I don't put it in a temporary variable right here. So I just decided to send it from the event. That's it actually for the UI. Now we'll just try the app and hope for the best. So let's run the app. Let's remove this one and wait for it to launch. It's launching now. Okay, so far so good. Maybe we have a little bit of bad space in here, but let's actually try sending something. So hi. Okay, we have now our prompt sent and we have a response. Let's try picking an image like this boy. Oops, we have a problem here. So let's actually fix that. As you can see, it doesn't look any good. And the reason why, if we go here to my chat, user chat, not here, actually in the column, I said height. Instead, I should say size. That's the first problem. And then the other thing is, in my text field, I need a modifier to actually, I close the app to occupy all that space from the bottom there. So let's use a modifier. Modifier dot weight. So we'll use weight 1f and then a background. But I don't think I need a background, so I can just use weight, and maybe we have another error here. We're fine, let's run the app. Now it looks much better. Let's try picking an image. I still have that issue. I thought I fixed it. Let's actually see what the problem is. It's because of this. I did not see that. So like this, I'm just going to now remove that one, and yes, now it's better. So here is the image I picked, and I say, what is this? I send that, and here is my item, my chat item from the user. I wait a little bit. I get the message, which is this is a photo of a young boy, but I actually don't remove this one, this picked image now, which is a problem that I need to fix by just going to the send icon. Right here, after sending, I actually need to update my URE state to be an empty string now. So let's try this out now. And let's pick an image and say, what is this? Send that now. And yes, it's no longer there. I can send prompt. Let's try sending now prompt. That has no image, so this is an image of a person or whatever. Let's just say thanks and send that. Here we have now the answer. So we just built the app with Gemini. So this is Gemini AI model that we used actually to build this app. So yes, this is it for the video. Please like the video and subscribe if you found what I'm doing helpful, and to support the future of this channel. See you in another video, and bye.